And I'm looking
Pretty sure that's right. Unless you want a double stun star. I think he won the Omen Flash. BBL on defense, Liquid on attack, and Liquid go for a contact prod over towards C, and then these two are waiting for a reaction. Break the camera, make it look like a hit, smoke goes over towards Garage, and very, very nice. Ooh, it's a great rep. Dude, got double?
And then Magnum able to shut out the engagement itself.
Got a nice shot though.
Spike isolated now.
Good double swing from BBL.
Does Team Liquid get? Oh, say Team Liquid. How does Serial or Nats get this one back?
I'm surprised Magnum got a double here, to be honest.
See right now though, BBL ever so slightly worried about the positioning and perhaps the availability of looks that Liquid have. As Nats
when did Serial join? After Bangkok. His second best of 3 at the moment.
What you do with it? This smoke. Yumpy concerned of it, still holding on against his former teammate.
Yumpy's... Nah, that's timing's wild. Timing's wild. You see Yumpy's reaction as well. As soon as he's looked.
Got to be looking at the utility though, as BBL tried to come back into sight. An info dart, 2 shocks, and even the paranoia. A boatload of information, and already getting the first pick.
Okay, Recon helps. He could speed up over towards here at the moment. This is nice from Cyril. He knows they shot the Recon here, so they don't think he's front of sight. Okay, nice shots. Straight up just nice shots from everyone in BBL, really, especially Magnum. 2-1 in pistols.
But well supported instead this time. A 2 versus 1, which they'll convert. That's another BBL pistol. Yeah, similarities from that first map. The Sentinel getting a double kill that puts the team in towards a winning position. Levin just so unfortunate to be caught out there. But this long fight is everything for BBL. And you see on the replay there as well, it was a cam early on placed for the contact.
Nice, Martin! The fucking
yeah, no, it was. That's probably a good way to put it. Thank you for so much.
That was such a good one.
But yeah, look, well, I mean, it wouldn't be a real inauguration into EMEA without getting used to
audio issues.
But look, we can see the league officials are investigating. We'll be back on. Yeah, we certainly will. But I think this allows us to take a step back.
Complain about the timing, yeah, that was good.
Between BBL and Liquid.
Resuming? Oh, this is a fast one.
Coming into this matchup, I was really excited, right? Because even though there was one match, right, you had 2 different trajectories for the 2 teams. Liquid, you were thinking, oh, is this them kind of falling to the wayside because of how many maps they've played, which they've already answered. And BBL, where you're thinking, are they the real contender?
Does look like Liquid like to buy a couple of sheriffs on the ecos, especially their first eco, which does mean that later on down the line, people might punish them with outlaws.
Could be their way to answer back.
We'll see. We did get the plant down, so this one makes a lot more sense.
Of their off-season, got so many reps up on it early
on. We buy the armor, we walk over towards short. I wonder if this is a little bit of prep that they buy the outlaw. This is twice now that where someone who's like taking first contact buys light armor. Serial did it on the first
Another scary position for BBL, but one that they should be aware of.
Oops.
Magnum's doing 360s.
Dude,
I don't think that's 2012.
Has he got so much HP?
That's left alone. The only player to buy a light shield has allowed him to survive this long.
Well,
and I don't even know how he ends up in C-Link in the end there as well.
I don't even know how Magnum's only taken 1 bullet, really.
No idea how it happens, but look, here we go into the rifle round now. BBL have the anti-eco under their belt. The importance of it stressed in the previous map. That carries forwards here. As Magnum finishes off his triple with a kill on another player that he has shared the same side of the server with. There's so much overlap in terms of
history. It must have been Americas or Pacific.
On these teams.
Thought Andy was going to replay it? Yeah, I thought he might as well. And we spoke about this, right? Literally just earlier. I said that they might have people that get one-shot by the outlaw because they're buying too many sheriffs. I'm really nervous for Liquid on this one. Might be one of those where like they lose the bonus just purely because they don't prioritize heavy armor.
Placed for identifying these locks, B main and towards deep in garage.
Missed the first map. It was really dominant from Liquid,
Garage
to be
control,
honest.
a priority highlighted for Liquid.
They look very good.
Against mates, doing the same here. Early deposit, as you know, on the map of Levin. Just outside a lobby, Drone trying to clear this. Patty the one to do it. It does reveal position, and utility in support from Yumpy was good.
Okay, Drone re-clear over towards A to make the rotate go over towards A, then
BBL,
insta C here.
We've
Got luck over towards Garage. Done a smoke to try fast flood from BBL.
Can they stand the test of the aggression? Magnum certainly cannot. Still though, a quick pause to affairs.
Yeah, it looks like Nats is on this as well.
Down Camel, going towards backside. Sociable not looking towards what was below. And leaves the last two remaining players of BBL in a clutch, which, well, already is not
11-28. Thank you so much for the 16 months. Thank you for that,
I'm a little
bro.
bit surprised that BBL didn't
Appreciate
put
the tier 1.
heavier price on Garage there.
It's a convincing round from Liquid.
Because as I said before,
2
it
deaths.
felt like the foundation that Liquid built
2 deaths,
a lot
1
of
armory
rounds on
buy, so
their
BBL will be
offense
like
against mates on
relatively
this map. The most
right
recent
with it.
tape that we would have on them, if you're talking about, you know, preparation.
I mean, does
themes
Liquid
which have
need
been
on an
repeated
attack?
many times,
It's
and
more of
was
an,
discussed
well, in
in
my
detail
opinion, it's
by
more
the
of an attack
devs.
comp, so maybe like 7.
As soon as Magnum goes down, it's a difficulty from that point onwards. Yeah.
It depends. Sometimes I watch 100 Thieves with this comp and Asuna just locks this down. They could do that as well.
You get into that smoke early, or you hold the kind of cross out, right? Already,
Plumber App, the Prime, thank you so much. Appreciate the 24 months, appreciate the Prime.
On a lobby, and this time they're going to fight it early.
Ooh, smoke to dodge the
Does have
recon.
his ult up here. Chance to pull a player in, perhaps.
Okay, they spot it early as well, it's
It's
nice.
utility used on the side of Liquid instead to just take long control. Now investigating towards sewers. Patty yet to invest, but the drone is expected. So as it flies through, up and out into the light, as it is quite a sunny day in Berlin, it's going to capture Profex. So that's Kiko now in the 1v1.
Dude, Camo's getting so many important kills.
Their way elsewhere for Liquid. He will find Profex in the Shadow Realm too. So a 5v2 presents itself. Liquid in full control. Even getting to deposit more utility,
and they're saving trips in the afterplant.
Maybe at the back of their head, thinking about saving.
Okay, no damage
At the
done.
very least. I mean, the money not looking
Pluke with the
great.
Prime, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate the 24 months, thanks for the Prime.
State. And Liquid now looking to hunt. And I love this too. Hat off the head from Nats. Kiko's already signed off on his kill contract.
Oh my god, Camo.
Add a couple more. Camo goes chasing. And with Magnum, the last name left on the list. There is no way to erase it. It's Kiko to finish it off flawlessly, an in-zone flawless to tie the scoreline up. Yeah, spot on. Everything about that. The fact that like you get such a minimum impact ultimate, right? You look towards the neural theft as not being one of the greatest, and now it allows you to go then and break BBLs by stop them having something to work with in the next round,
I think we're going
and
to
build up your
I'm
own
going to use ulti
ultimates.
soon, okay? In 10 seconds. I want to fully break economy for them.
Yeah, there you go. It's spot on. Mate, get it posted on the TikTok. 500
Yeah,
IQ.
I mean, they did do it.
Doesn't have a hat. It means that his brain can grow to new sizes, not restricted by the headwear. That's a bit of a reach. Jokes aside, against pistols here. The B site is where Liquid go. I mean, now people often say you never go B against the eco. They want to take some extra space. With a double tap active,
guys,
they walk into trouble. What did I say? Neural Theft invested as well, so they'll get a full grasp of what's going on. And look at the late flank coming through from A lobby. Huge if Sociable plays his cards right, but instead, he's just a little too eager. A couple of rounds now where he's been a step behind the play when he could have been ahead of the curve instead. Levin with a face check, shoulder spotted, so's the barrel. It's betrayed Patitech, and so Yumpy will capitalize. 3-on-2, BBL with just a man advantage. And because the two players had pushed in towards
they still had the trip over towards B. They kind of get good info that they're all coming through spawn.
Rifles to work with. This is
say
not looking good
that
right
they
now
could
for
be
Team
anywhere near, I
Liquid
guess.
as they isolate the two players that they're working with. But yeah, and Nats is still towards
What a
Garage,
flash.
so it's only Serial fighting on site. He's separated from the man
30 seconds left.
who is mentoring him in this team, as he said before, to lead by example. stress
Okay.
the importance of it, but it cannot be done on this round.
Good amount of upgrades from BBL here. Oh, Liquid really sent it. They do trip on the left side with smoke, and they want to push over towards A.
As the round was happening, some people say do not go B when they're on an eco round, and BBL do so well to pick up the rifles and snowball that into
Yeah,
the
I just don't know if they
PC
need to take the extra map
Look,
control. At least they did it together, I guess,
say
but
that my word is gospel
it
or
does.
anything. I think you
It
kind
does
of you want to
cost them.
break away from that conditioning at times and
The
go for
bush,
something
yeah.
unexpected, but there are reasons
against
why
an eco
this
as
is a
well, I
thing,
think you just
know?
plant for outside beam, but
Yeah, just neither of these teams can finish their dinner when it comes to anti-ecos, I guess, or at least that was the trend before.
Magnum did really good to get into a strong position though. Oh, the double trip.
First won't catch him, second does. Down to 47. Now the backside space is where they'll look to fight Liquid. That's a frustrating
Oh my god. Dude, he nearly got a third.
Even a second one as well. BBL though, still trying to work their way back through with the 3 players that they have remaining. No drone, no stun. A little bit of silence required before BBL can engage.
Yeah, Recon in 6, so you would imagine BBL are chilling for a little bit. What a kill that is.
Rolling Thunder online and straight into the site. Patty though, looking to try and escape in towards CT, but doesn't get his timing right and loses control of the site.
You gotta give it to Sociable, he played this pretty well.
They're working on the spike and they're working
Dude,
on this
Yampy
round.
fragged out
Yampy
heavy.
with 4,
Sociable
and so
in the
did
3, like
BBL.
it's a
Yampy takes the quad, but the
3v3,
star of the show for
right?
me
And
is
he's just, he
Sociable.
knows that the
Brilliant
2 have to
discipline
play.
from
He's
him
waiting for his
towards
recon as
Spawn,
well.
a player who I
The 2
highlighted in
play, they get
previous
the
rounds
kill,
for
do
maybe
the
being
ult,
a
and he's
little bit error
he's
prone,
literally
but
just
he
running
clearly
back. He
makes up
knows
for it
that,
here.
because as soon as
Knows
they
that
know that
Patty
there's 2
has
people
to
there,
fill
that
that
they're just
gap
gonna
with
run in.
smoke in front.
That's
So
just
he backs
even
all the way
1v1.
up. As strange
So
as
even
the
though
final
Sociable
remaining
dies
player
here, I think he
here,
played it great.
Yampy's just going to clean up the round. So really well played between the members of BBL. And now with this lead established,
Okay, now
to try and build on it.
Liquid's money. They get 2-9 loss bonus on this. So maybe with a plan they're actually okay, and it's just Nats that takes the hit.
But I mean, it's going to be used straight away. Yeah, it's a combo with the
Yeah,
fault line, but as soon as no tags come up, it's
the
beginning
classic.
to search elsewhere for Sociable. Does catch on to Kiko. Still, double tap is available for the
Dude, what
ISO
on
player,
earth did I
and
just see on the
Liquid
minimap
outside
there?
the garage is a
Profec's taking a
story,
1v1 and
as
spawn, he
old
just
as
uses Omen
their
Flash.
scrapbook, I think, at this point in time. So you are expecting it if you're BBL right now, and the setup is there for
Yeah,
it
dude,
as well.
this is an easy call. Go fight the
now,
Omen
look
that's
towards
holding
C1,
A on
right?
his own.
Already,
You take
deep
out their
information
smokes.
from BBL. They should start to have an idea about Liquid leaning towards A, and that's confirmed through Profec's contact.
With how much BBL were
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
of that play,
Oh god.
set up towards mid,
It looks so horrible the whole time.
But instead, Profec has cut them down to size. With Serial gone, there's no
Oh.
smokes left. You're straight into the
Yeah,
site
they still don't
behind
know
the
about
relay
Yampy on
bolts,
short, and honestly,
Camo
because he was holding so
rallying off
low, they
shots, but it's
might
Sociable
not
who
expect
trades,
it.
and with the mid-lurk lost,
Yeah,
it's numbers BBL back into a
Nuts
retake
just doesn't
where
expect
they are
it. They just thought it was
strongest.
Omen
Yeah, this is
early.
getting
Yampy played
claustrophobic
this
for
pretty well
Liquid
though.
because of the fact that
Just
Levin's
tucking
so
into short
fast
baits
on
his
this
team.
flank.
I don't think they're even going to be able to set up the post plant. They've got to look for kills. And with Camo finding yet another, he's got to funnel more bullets back in the magazine before he can give it a second go. Grouped up with Patty, plant goes down.
Spike
BBL
planted.
still in front by just the one man for now. But Liquid have reacted
Liquid
well to
do
take
the
this space
most
towards
perfect
CT.
thing as
They still
BBL
have
decide to
information
group
items
3
to
person
use, right?
behind.
You're looking
They
towards
actually
this
get some map
Eldron.
control.
Could even
Patty
use
has
a
his
Hunter's
ult if he wants to
Fury
use it.
late into
Tries
post
to
if
play
they
on
need
site,
it.
so we're not going to see it.
Position for Patty to try and
What a shot.
find use for it, but instead it's the shots which will connect for him.
Ooh.
Yampy getting one back. Su is where he'd hung out for the majority of this round. Now looking to finish
Whoa,
it
that
there.
got
It's
close.
Magnum who will go on
This
in
was pretty nice from
instead.
BBL though,
So
right? Because they
5
initially had the
down for
pressure here, and that
BBL.
was the pressure that got
Very
Camo
big
killed.
round. Massive, in fact.
So the 3-person
because it
group
was
up was
getting
very
close
smart
and
from
you
them.
could see how it was working for Liquid generally. But on top of that, I think for me though, it comes to the early rounds, like the fact that BBL identified.
Where the Camo look at CT, because someone showed that earlier, like what, 15 seconds ago, 20 seconds ago?
Alien becomes so much easier. Right now though, Liquid have seen enough.
They cleared it, yeah, but they could have
Lohan wants
been
to come
in 2
and talk to his
positions that they
players.
didn't clear.
Looking at this
I'd be
comp
pushing
from
over towards
Liquid.
A main, they cleared
There are
like
quite a few strengths that you'll find
just
on the defender
close,
side,
but
actually.
there could easily
But
be
in terms
someone
of
like
the
on the
attack,
corridor
I
here.
think, yeah, you've got to be playing Kiko like a second initiator and helping set up Camo in those instances. You only have one undercut now, but with the suppress that it has as well, it's such an effective tool for going for these quick executes if that's what you want to aim for. In terms of ults, they've built a couple up here as well. So again, we look towards that strat book, that playbook, to see what exactly it is they have prepared for us, because already we've seen variation from BBL.
It's really nice, you know, seeing the variations, etc.
You gamble that they're together?
Like
I mean, yeah,
the
probably.
That they're bringing forward, like, I
When you
feel
clear
as
it,
if
you
it's a totally
maybe just
new one,
gamble,
right?
but
You think towards the last
it's
map fracture, it was like
one of those situations that, imagine there was someone hiding here and he gambles, like we're flaming him either way. Like, it's all hindsight, no matter what. Better just to focus on saying that BBL did good.
It's not hitting the same.
Yeah, it's
like if he gambles and starts facing here, but we actually see a guy who's tucked in here and just sneaks around the corner of their contact, like with them flaming camo, like it's a lose-lose for him, really.
But I mean, I can't help but feel at the same time, is Serial the man to be playing that role? Because
just,
not only have you put him on a controller, which he only showed for the first time.
Still a lot of hindsight. It's hindsight again, because you can see the minimap.
Heavy, and when you're focusing on that kind of stuff, it's a lot more difficult to perform on, you know, just shooting your gun in your hands.
Little bit of carnage, and Magnum somehow
and they might think they cleared back a site, yeah.
And he's working well.
Oh, nicely done from Perfect. Dude, this was a nice fast flood from BBL.
A little distraction, a bait and switch, and it works so well.
And it's starting to look like the Liquid strat book is a little bit thin, for sure. We spoke about it early in terms of their map pool, right? Lotus is risky for them, Icebox is risky. So there's probably like 2 maps they had to focus on. They wanted to change their Haven. They focused a lot on Fracture. But they probably focused quite a lot on these 3 and wanted to change their comp on Haven. I reckon they got like 2 days on it. Maybe 1. Oh, I think Perl's a perma ban, I think. It's twice in a row.
Very different to how Chiwa plays the role.
Ascent, yeah, I mean, had to probably do Ascent as well.
He does like to get
in the time they had, it's hard to spread it all and do a new comp. That's why I thought they weren't going to do a new comp, because they still had a lot to focus on.
He wants to stick around. Young player likes to be aggressive, and he's certainly been here.
Great trade though.
Popped out, and that's too easy.
Oh my goodness, he's so good with a Bucky. The Observer did incredible to catch everything here.
1v1's taken, and Liquid win them all.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. It's the micro again, I think. Just so many isolated engagements. This is how Liquid were able to sow chaos on Haven in their previous map against Gentlemate. Some of the rounds that did look really scrappy, but they're fighting on multiple fronts. And on a round like this, when you know you can give Camo a buff,
lovely round for Liquid though.
Why not? It's a
lot of gun upgrades, and they managed to pick up their own attack
of course, it's Liquid that pick it up.
Yeah, Observer did perfect here. It was incredible, to be honest.
There
was so much going on.
Muddy Valorant, right?
Let's get Zero to a Masters, man. Look at him go.
And just wants to try and go more. And I think that's where, like, being a young player, you'll see that, like, inexperience, right? Rather than being more passive because he's on a lesser buy.
Good job. At the same time, I feel like it
big
is also
distraction
hard
over
to
towards A is the
of course,
the ISO with a gun walks through B. Oh boy, it's a set strat. Omen flash over towards here, recon deep. 2-pass and push. Surely we fall back after we get the first kill. ISO hits the jet. Do they then stick around to try and cover the body?
Looking for that fight.
Yes, they do, and they win the duel as well. Dude, ISO is so strong. It's so strong, man.
Through the kill contract, Nats as well, fighting his way.
When you got someone who aims like Kiko as well, this is incredible.
His position, Nats aware of it. Prophet trading out. The 1-for-1 does put them a player short, BBL. This is going to be a serious test.
How do you nerf it? You wouldn't nerf it, you would just add an extra orb. Do what they did to everything else.
2vx's situations previously. This feels like a whole different kettle of fish, and Sociable playing a corner you'd typically consider one and done. It has to come up with the goods and then some.
Prison Valorant agent, it really is.
No tradability, individuality.
Sociable might be able to dodge the recon here. Yeah, recon doesn't go high enough.
This is the one corner you need to clear that the
one
reveal does not scan, and Sociable is very nearly
Perfect is here early. Dude, Kiko's aim, man.
Profik, the idea, TPing in towards C long. You're waiting to see how that first engagement goes in the 1v2, but just nowhere near it. 6-4 though. You're looking for BBL to make good on this advantage that they've taken in the early rounds.
And it comes right back to what I was saying before the round as well, how Levin is always looking to try and
Let's go!
call for what it is exactly that he wants, the setup utility. And you saw that reflected in how he performed with such confidence against Fnatic in kickoff, when on the Euro a lot of the time, he was like running down mid on Abyss. And while he had the support of his team there, they were also coming to him, and it was pretty clear between them, like, okay, I'm actually going to hang around a little bit longer.
They're forcing into it.
I'm trying to do that.
Magnum takes the hit.
So important, as we stressed before. I think the difference on a map like Haven, when it is more fundamental, is that then that vocality is a little bit different. It is more like, what are you calling, pre-round rather than anything else.
Single duelist jet, not viable anymore. It's viable.
Now looking towards
Just the fact that there's
BBL's
better
timeout,
options these days.
What they're looking to change. Is there anything you'd immediately identify as like problem issues apart from the individuality?
Liquid's good on defense. It's better on attack
big
normally.
thing for me right now is
Like
that
they might struggle a
Liquid's,
little bit.
Before they showed us two different
But
styles. They were sort of defaulting.
On defense, a
they were being
lot
direct.
is down.
Now
Like
they're
the double
just trying to
duelists can
create chaos
still
and force BBL to make reactions.
like
As I
dominate
said
defense.
before,
And if you look at
protocols
how
are
they're
always
playing,
something
they still have a
stressed.
good
We've
chance.
heard the word Palorant thrown around a few times in our years, I would say. But his way of playing, yeah, you're expecting those reactions. If you can find a way to sort of stimulate a certain area of the map to get a set response, then that's exactly what you're looking for, finger on the pulse. And I think a lot of that comes through mid, as I was saying.
I like the positioning of Magnum here as well. You look towards the kill traps on the east side. You've got to be thinking of that buff that ISO got,
they go
right,
for
with the
a
undercut. Now, actually
double kill trip. You break. They kind of love this. We've seen it a couple of times. So one over towards Garage, right? Info trip into kill trip. Kill one.
Yeah, for example, if you could land that onto Magnum, then it's the setup gone. He is held up in the heavens as it stands, though. Double kill trips down long. That's the one counter to Camo that you'd be looking for, but he gets away scot-free.
Yeah, with a first trap, there's still a second one hanging around, and still BBL have control of the site.
They're gonna feel like they created pressure.
Duelist. It's only
Yeah, they are gonna walk and find it though.
Bit of mid-rounding from BBL. Sociable only able to clear the corner, but Kiko, the healthy player, happy to help out those in
nice.
need. Camo taken down by
One
the
flash
toe.
is good. Cage goes up in
Yumpy
time.
still in behind this
Oops.
cage. Space which needs to be cleared. Oh, up again. He's just going to send it straight in their
Oh my
face.
god, he
Oh,
just
he's
managed to
walked through
avoid it.
It's into Yumpy's open
Still though, it's a
arms.
nice round from BBL.
Kiko, last player left. Not on the smoker this time, but to save the day from the duelist roll.
I mean, if there was a player to do it right, here's the TP. But 4 players, and Yampy to put the cherry on top. The ulti, which essentially decided the round. Team Liquid forced to walk into a trap. 7 confirmed, an advantage for the next half to work.
No flashes, yeah, no flashes
Now
is hard.
only 1 round remaining in this one.
I was saying, because this is what Doombros, this is what 100 Thieves use, and I'm always, every time I talk about this comp, it's just like the Neon has to be a lunatic.
Yampy, a player as well who we maybe didn't see it in the first map.
The Neon's got to do some crazy
really
stuff.
Struggled to frag out while calling so far. Having a fragging IGL, the
Neon's
amount of
got, yeah,
value
the
we put
Neon's
on
got to
that,
make
so
up for the no flash
really
by just
big
being
of him.
hard to hit.
The other thing as well.
Asuna, why are you question marking? Why are you always lurking as well?
Going walkabouts in mid yet again. He's punished on an opening duel.
Trying to put severe pressure on towards Garage right now, forcing out utility from BBL. But right now, BBL are
Lucky
leaving it.
3017, thank you so much for the 11 months.
Now
Thank you,
looking elsewhere on the map, you're looking at Magnum, looking down C, and the rest of BBL looking towards A. Not wanting to deal with mid at all.
Happy to give it up if they have a setup.
Drone clears over towards A. They saw nothing, and they hear the drone back. They're probably just going to stick 3 here. Oh my.
To try and cause an issue, but the one you've got to be concerned of is the Hunter's Fury. That question mark space given an answer, but it feels like more of a red herring right now.
Spot on. Nats though wants to continue moving
but
forward.
Nats is going to enable before his
There's a
team.
player right behind him. Trigger discipline, just to make sure there's no more. And well, there you go, converted into a kill.
Okay, fast reaction. Do they go Garage up? Damn, the timing on this is going to be close.
Okay, there's nobody else here.
Oh dear God.
Garage and Magnum has a boatload of them right in front of his crosshair.
Dude, I was worried there. He actually did a little bit of damage to Patty as well. They get the plant down.
Oh no.
if
BBL
Patsy
find
or
themselves in an advantage. You're looking towards the utility to come back in on, and there's so much to be used.
BBL have been brilliant in their retakes so far, but this one to find an 8 could truly separate them from Liquid heading
What a
onto
stun
the
that
attack
is.
side. Prophet
Did he
Glory
just
back
stun
to
them
space
as they
towards
swung?
Garage. It's Kiko out on an island, finding himself
is
in a
that timing?
BBL sandwich, and he doesn't like the sound of that. Stepping back into the reveal. And when the limelight hits his
Great
face,
flash.
he melts under
Man,
the bright
BBL
Berlin
played this
lights. It's
round
BBL to clean house
so
at the
well.
end of the half. And
It was
outside
so
of the opening
nice.
12, they'll have the majority of the rounds
ooh.
this time.
Yep, and the big thing coming from Fracture
Would I want the?
in towards Haven.
I mean, it's not the worst idea ever. It's just the fact that Nuts is going like after they've used the drone, so the likelihood of them having a stack on A is like really high. So I think they should be fake pushing B, or and then he makes the luck instead of them doing that. Because like they just create pressure A, so they're gonna have people there. So that's why the luck doesn't really make much sense. Right. They're good on defense now. They're pretty drilled on this map as well. Like that round, they played very nice. As much as I didn't like the Nats luck early, the 4v4 was played like well. Every single time they're very aware of like what the reactions will be once they get over towards site. Very disciplined over towards spawn as like everyone else makes the play through garage or behind C. It's like every single time they left C here, right, or had to retake over towards C, they're always making sure garage or behind C plays, and like the person spawn or the two-person spawn is just holding. Because the most likely reaction when you don't have map control here to just take one of these. Well, honestly, most people take spawn these days, but depends on who you have alive as well. BBL look drill team. It's like Liquid. At the moment, this is like what you expect from Valorant. Even though this hasn't happened that much recently, like they both look more drilled on their map pick. People are starting to get a bit more clued up on the maps once you see demos out there. 2 fame for names. Thank you with the prime. Thank you for doing that.
BBL back in action and making the better of that first half, it's safe to say. The word that you said,
Jake Scott as well.
control.
Thank you so much for the tier 1, bro. I appreciate that.
Performance is really what we needed with how messy some of those rounds looked towards Fracture. It's onto the attack side, though, where they had previously struggled before.
Yeah, and well, we're looking for them to make good on the mistakes that they have done. As for Team Liquid, how does this comp look like on the defense, right?
Any benefit on playing the Neon here? I personally think your retake's better. I think your aggro A becomes a little bit better on defense as well.
Just before we get underway.
Hopefully resumes fairly soon. You like the color red?
For sure, your retakes are better. Apart from the no flash, but
I completely hear what you're saying. With this
maybe your A retakes worse, but your C retakes better. Although you can wall over the top over towards A. Nah, I'll stick with what I said. I think the retakes are better.
You're talking about a team which, in this fixture, historically, I know we've seen changes between them. Liquid have won 5 out of the 6 meetings between the two in VCT EMEA. And I think that's sort of... That's calling to BBL's history as well, and to re-inspire the fan base that has followed them for the last 4 years. You think even this game, if they were to win it and go up 2-0, they have never won more than 3 games consecutively in a row in the league. Whereas it feels like the identity is a lot different. The team culture,
thoughts on the Vice now?
Is there as well. You
yeah,
aren't just
needed.
Removing the old guard, which now ultimately represent Eternal Fire and
I still think it's a little bit too strong, to be honest, after the nerf.
Played here as well.
It's a step in the right direction.
As well, when you look towards Liquid and what they
the 10 seconds forms were
a team or an
always too
which is
strong.
Used to being at the height of any esport that they play in, and specifically in Valorant as well. When you think towards the history of this organization,
how do they not touch Teo?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And towards like
I guess next week maybe.
Roster, now trying to move into like last year, now into this one.
Feels like it does so much damage to forms. Yeah. What is the Vice now? Your forms have gone from 10 seconds to 7 seconds, and your wall is 6 seconds, and it used to be like 8,
they
or
have
like
history.
nearly 8.
There is legacy there, right? 25 years celebrated this year. I think a big thing for me too, when you look at the players that they have and the core of this team, a guy like Kiko, for example, the reason why you keep him on is because he is so hungry, so eager.
I think Nuts and Yampy are doing his ideals. Doing good.
Any role that they
I think the coaches are helping them out a good amount as well.
I think that's where it then becomes
I
a
think
really
they're doing
difficult
good.
situation
Cleo
for someone like
with the
Serial
Prime. Thank you so much for the 2
coming
months
into
as
the team for
well.
the first time. As I
Thank
said,
you, thank
again,
you.
on this map, specifically when you're playing Astra, which is such a complex
How do I
agent
nerf
for one that
Teo?
you maybe
Yeah,
don't
we've
have
spoken about
crazy
this a
amount
little
of
bit. I
reps
think
on.
you just put the
And then
salvos
he's gonna,
up
he bottom fragged the
55
first
second
2 maps
cooldown.
that he played, and both of those
So
2
that
maps also happened
there's
to
some
be
kind of
maps where he was
thought
playing an agent for the
process
first time in his
instead
career.
of just
The third
aimlessly
map, he top fragged, albeit they still lost.
map control
but
at the
it's that
beginning
comfortability
into
that we're
side
talking
exec
about,
into
that comes
after
with
plant.
time. I
Like you
think
have
they
to
need
at
to
least
give
be
him
able to
time if that's what they want
choose
to commit to,
2 out of the 3
because to open up a different
instead of having
discussion
3 for 3.
at the same point, you're talking about a team which has a Challengers Academy.
Glack01 with the
sort of
Prime.
where
Thank you
you
for the 3
look
months.
to then
Thank you,
pull
thank
from
you.
in the
I think
future,
Vice should have the
as
same
the
restrictions
majority
as
of
Killjoy
players in the
and
server
Chamber
right
in
now
terms of
on both sides
yeah, maybe,
have
because honestly it
come from
forms
Challengers
either
in the
side
last year
on
or so.
Yeah, 100%.
the main choke points is a nightmare to
100%.
play against.
But with that being said, we are finally ready to get things underway.
Would you agree
BBL
Paper X is struggling
on to
because of
the
a lack of a
attack.
proper
Team
initiator?
Liquid with a double
I mean, they've got
duelist
like
on defense.
2
What can
duelist
they
players
bring forward,
that
and
can't
how
play all the
aggressive
duelists.
can they
That's
set
my
up? We look towards
main
that
problem.
barrier drop for what
You
Liquid
got
are
2
gonna try
duelist
and do
players,
with those double
and Forsaken's
duelists.
are better Neon and Yoru
That's
than
right,
the
Bum's
2
back
duelist
in
players.
seat.
That's the
all we
real
wanna
issue.
see. Not quite at squeaky bum time just yet. But the pistol could decide quite a lot. And that's a different setup to what we've seen
2-1
from
for
him
pistols.
before. Can for a little bit of info, but realizes this site is best left. Towards garage he goes, but Levin is looking. Does he want to disrespect this smoke? Nats doesn't have the right idea. And
Nats
so
is
Levin
like
gets
as
the
if he's
opener.
doing this.
But while this has
Rotate
all
goes
been happening,
in,
right, it's a
walk
complete
over
fake
towards
on
A.
C. And BBL know that after the initial aggression, they can go and re-clear towards A.
He go back site. Only with a double tap, yet to equip it, fighting out solo, fearless, he falls, Sociable following it up.
Looking like
with
a
that
double
second
pistol,
layer
looking like an
of
ascent.
Levin levied over their heads. The threat comes in from both sides if you're Liquid. Time is of the essence, and you've only got 2 players to digest this with.
Yeah, not only that, you look towards the layers that are happening on screen as well. Levin's been deposited late for a flank. BBL though, there'll be
Poor
so
guy in
much
heaven.
utility.
3-1 for the pistols. 2-0 on this.
Gorgeous round of Valorant.
Yeah, really well played from the experience, as I said
a
before,
limp.
to the youngsters
The
on this
Limps
team.
with the 6
And
months. Thank you,
with Yumpy
appreciate the
being in
Prime.
charge of
Thank you for the
4
kind words as well,
Challengers
bro.
players effectively coming in. You're seeing so many of these rounds also where Sociable is so valuable, and the reason why I mention him yet again is he is the eldest rookie in VCT EMEA since partnerships began at 28. So, you know, it's not often that you can't really call him a rookie because he's been in the Turkish scene for so long.
I
But he
said earlier they
complements
do
player
this
like
a
Levin
lot.
really well for,
They go for 4 sheriffs.
which they have held
So
on
in
to.
that big buy round,
Interesting buy actually being
Liquid
brought
are
through by
for
BBL.
sure going to
It's
be able to
3,
buy.
stingers,
Sorry,
right?
BBL are
It's
for
not
sure going to be
something
able to buy
that
an
we see
outlaw.
typically, as well as 2 ghosts.
But we also saw
So
that
something different
this
being
one
brought
on
through.
that
Like,
Eco earlier
not
on
even
Fracture.
really an FPX buy.
Yeah, it's not even really that much of a anti-eco, right?
FPS
Yeah,
buy, free
BBL go
person
for
stinger.
triple stingers, double
With
goes.
a bit of a list. Please. That's just what I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Dude, they don't have any map control.
It's an FPS game after all. Let's see if they can shoot some people.
Do they react once the
Playing
trip goes
on
down?
site right now, no extra space, but you can see how much Liquid are respecting this. They finally get back in, but that's when the utility comes out the belt.
Oh, it's not.
What a second shot, bro. Oh my god. Dude, nearly again.
And now Patidek playing from C-Long. He's already stunned up. That should
a
be
good stun.
easily converted.
Dude, Kiko with the
that
sheriff.
round has completely thrown me.
Nuts.
That's double digits for BBL.
Oh, they're
But look
for
at the
sure
credits,
getting
guys.
an
They
outlaw
got
out
a lot of
here.
money to throw around here as
Yeah.
well, with the Stinger being a cheap weapon. I mean, what do the repurchases look
Hello,
like? I'm
Pansy.
seeing an outlaw. I'm
Yeah,
seeing
they're
a
doing
Vandal.
good.
Sorry to spoil it for all you at home.
They're doing good.
But,
2
BBL
kind of
feeling
one-sided
really
maps
composed
though,
after
so
this
like
one.
they can't
And
get
I think the difference
overhyped.
is this time they won the pistol round. You're now coming into an attack side round. Some nice shots from Kiko Sheriff.
Some nice utility as well. Like you saw the grab well being used as well. By I think Team Liquid, well it was Team Liquid because BBL don't have one. But they, like to try and force players into like a bad
Oh my
position.
God.
Early gunfight. Levin loses out.
Camo winning that one again.
Strange seeing him in action at the start of the
One,
round
two,
sometimes.
three,
He's
four. That would have been
the
one
best
shot from the
closer that
outlaw.
they have, I think. Most clutches
Feel like they missed a opportunity here.
So as the round goes on,
It's a 6-person duel on C. Yampy's absolutely sent it. Dude, I was watching Yampy on the minimap. He's absolutely sending it. His two teammates are in front of him, and he manages to be the first to swing back sight. Okay, well, we're going to Ascent.
This time. I mean, I put a big question mark on the Stinger buy, like how it was going to work, but already you're seeing how they're using it on that C side of the map, manipulating through garage, forcing the fight.
Stinger, yeah, the EU teams are slowly getting better with it.
He's calling his second and last time out of regulation.
Time is a flat circle, man. Look at these entries. I mean, it's just players running out, spraying to the side.
Yeah, some look better than others.
So quickly into position because of the movement as well, and Yampy is loving it. And this timeout comes at exactly the same point in which it did for BBL on Fracture.
Why would they change comp with only a week of practice? There's so many demos out there, I think they'd run out of their Strapper Haven. And I'm telling you, a week is long enough to change a comp.
I think, like, you look at Liquid,
you can change a comp. If you have a really good thought process, you can change a comp in a day, in my opinion. But to be like super confident, like 2-3 days.
For BBL, I find it even interesting in this whole
I think you can. I think if it's like a new comp that people haven't played against, you can probably win with a day.
So many people
like have a good understanding in a day.
He wouldn't be ready for the jump up without the time that he had on Go Next, and it was that little bit time before on Diamant where both.
Yeah, I think they just thought they were going to lose with their normal comps, so they wanted to try something different.
Which was sort of like the catapult which started.
But again, we spoke about it a little bit earlier. Liquid have a lot of things they have to focus on
because he was a T1
in their week off.
But it took a little bit of time for him to get back up to that level. Alongside Profek is where he did it, and well, now he's got to beat him.
Right, look towards B though. Look at the players ready to line up, and look at BBL close by. This could be pretty spicy at the early doors.
I'm going to show all too much. Couple loose cannons, Liquid.
Okay, they shoot the camera.
It's a gentleman's agreement.
A little bit of pressure over towards the middle, that's it.
Left to be said of this, but Serial, who could be hot under the collar momentarily, but looks like Levin's the one going to be fighting him. He has struggled in those first duels.
Levin. Closer.
Oh boy.
Insane.
Just didn't expect them to quietly re-clear the info.
And that's a big one to lose out. That's your Astra gone.
And that's the only player that was looking B. He's just turned his head.
And now Liquid have to go, try and re-clear towards this B side, and BBL are sitting waiting.
Levin takes those every day of the week, but shouldn't be getting any more. It's Kiko to peek into him next. Very easily could have fallen asleep at the wheel, but no, Kiko in for a fight and then doubles down on the double tap, and so sociable.
Double?
I think you know the next words out of my mouth. Doubles up.
Still a Thrifty in Yampy's hand. That's Thrifty. Keep calling it Thrifty. A Stinger in Yampy's hands.
Yeah. Dude, he's so rich by now as well.
Yeah, no, he's just keeping the Stinger the whole time.
Nats can't put a stop to things.
But he looked good with it. On the replay, he looked good.
He broke their backs with some of the impact he had on Fracture, and one on the fadeaway would have been good if he hadn't been snatched from the darkness by Profek.
Yeah, Patty's trying to come back out through this CT spot. This is not the position you want to be in.
It's Stinger again.
I think you'd be thinking about a save here, right? You look at the money, factor on defense, and
dude, Yampy's got the Stinger down for sure. He's been on that DM. Okay, 8 chances, Liquid's money. Everyone's sitting about 3,000.
He finally found an upgrade. There was one on the floor, but to me, it comes back to this, you know, slight lapse in concentration, perhaps from Serial. So focused on other things happening on the map, and it's a point that I've made several times. And you see it there specifically, that when you're so focused on, you know, micromanaging all the different utility and stuff like that, you can get caught up in these kind of things sometimes. And that's no fault of his own. It's just being thrown into this situation. Not all of that's on the player, it's on the team as well.
Going back towards mid once again. More players invested from Team Liquid, and this time they're sticking around. Getting a kill contract.
Boy. Oh boy. Nice shot, but
meanwhile, Kiko's got one pick, but at the same time, BBL have got the rest of the pack. It's just 2 players left on Liquid's side.
Kiko was trying to thin out the herd with the ult to help the mid push. But now, The numbers are stacked against them, and this is for the map. It's been over in a flash. Patty revealing his position. The 2v1 begins with his death.
Okay, 2 dominant maps.
Well, you've got to rely
I'm excited for the Ascent
on
comps.
Kiko. And everybody
Ascent's
knows
so
where he is,
open
and on
these
top of
days.
that, he's stunned up, time's ticking away. You're expecting BBL now to take this. In fact, it's almost a BBL guarantee. Gets the first, looking for one more. You see that BBL are just stalling for time. They know exactly what they need to do. We're looking at Ascent here, Hazza, and what that third map holds for us as we move on to that with a BBL win.
Young B hyping up the crowd.
The regional reps from
For God's
Bangkok
sake.
on the second map.